Hi, my name is Dina Robinson, and I want to share my thoughts and perspectives on Jamaica's court banning dreadlocks in school. I am a first generation American. My mother's from Kingston, Jamaica. And so this decision felt pretty personal for me as a black woman who has locks. I believe, based on a lot of my legal research, I'm also a civil rights attorney, that the court's ruling has to do with a history of internalized anti blackness in Jamaica, given that Jamaica is a Commonwealth nation and was previously colonized by the British. I think one of the things that comes with colonization is an internalization of Eurocentric beauty standards. And I think in general, a lot of hair discrimination, especially for Black women, has to do with our hair not falling into standards of whiteness or aligning with standards of whiteness. And I feel this very deeply as a Black woman who's also an attorney. I remember when I first decided to go natural when I was in college, I completely cut my hair off. And I went home and my mother saw my hair and she was like, "What did you do?" She never thought that I would cut my hair off. It used to be really long and relaxed. And I just decided that I was done with it. And I was mostly done with it because where I was going to college at the time, there was nowhere in, within like a 2 mile radius of the college, for example, for me to go and get my hair done. If I wanted to get my hair relaxed, it meant either doing it myself or traveling over an hour and a half away to get it done. And so I just decided that I needed to cut it off. And I did the big chop. My mother was upset. My grandmother was upset. And when I decided to start locking my hair, I did it once before I started law school. Then I cut my locks off, and then I started again my second year of law school. And through that entire time, I was hyper cognizant of the ways in which people would view me as a Black woman attorney because I had locks. I still don't feel that locks for Black people have really entered the mainstream. And because of that, I feel a lot of pressure before I go to job interviews, before I go into court, or if I'm meeting with other attorneys, for example, to make sure that my hair is always done at least 2 or 3 days before so that when I meet them, my hair looks fine. And, a lot of Black people will be like, well, white people can't really tell the difference between when your locks are freshly retwisted, and when they're not, but I can. And I already feel both invisible and visible at the same time as a Black woman attorney, let alone as a Black woman attorney with locks. So when I saw that decision that came from the courts and came from the profession that I am now a part of, it really devastated me. I've always attributed Jamaica with being a country that was steeped in its Blackness and that, didn't have the same issues around white supremacy and race and racism that this country does. But that decision shows me that it actually does. When you live in a majority Black island like Jamaica, and you have Black judges and Black legislators and Black reporters, it doesn't change the fact that the underlying water that Jamaica and Jamaicans are swimming in is still colonization and white supremacy at the end of the day. And so the fact that their locks are considered unhygienic or considered unprofessional kind of blows my mind, but also doesn't really surprise me that much, because at the end of the day, locks do not conform to standards of whiteness, and anything that doesn't conform to a standard of whiteness will be viewed as ugly or not professional or not presentable or not clean. So I'll just say, as a Jamaican American and as an attorney, that decision really hurt me, and that's why I support the Crown Act, because I know what it feels like to have people look at my hair when I walk into a courtroom, or to have people question if I'm even an attorney because of the way that my hair looks. And I know what it feels like to be hyper cognizant of that, or to go into a job interview and wonder if someone is looking at your hair, or wondering if they think that I'm going to be too Black or too radical because I have locks. But this is, my hair grows out of my head this way for the most part. So I'm just a huge proponent of the Crown Act, and I did some work with written testimony for the Crown Act here in Maryland. And so I urge you to continue reading about hair discrimination across the country and to support the Crown Act wherever you are.